Radio V. Radio in TV. Radio in TV.
Coming to you live from the T-Radio V studio in Hollywood, California. I'm Debbie Kay, the fabulous lady of poker, and welcome to The Flop. Today in our studio, I have the Poker Paparazzi as my co-host, Mr. Leonard Lang.
Thanks for having me.
And joining me via Skype is none other than Matt Savage. Everybody who plays poker knows my next guest. He's responsible for standardizing the rules of poker and ultimately changing the world of poker as we know today. He made his first major contribution to the poker industry by co-founding the Tournament Directors Association. He's the executive tour director for the World Poker Tour and tournament director at Commerce Casino and Bay 101. Bluff Magazine coined him the Ringmaster, and I'm very proud to honor him and have him as my guest today. Hello, Matt.
Radio in TV. Radio in TV.
Hey, Matt.
Hello.
Did you hear that?
I do.
All right. Well, I just did a nice intro to you, and I wanted to wish you a happy anniversary. I heard you celebrated 10 years yesterday.
Yes, we did, and we put on the same tux and the same dress that we had 10 years ago. A little tighter, but, you know, we made it work.
Well,
Nice.
I'm going to show the audience a little snippet of when you proposed to your beautiful wife, Marianne. If you don't
Great.
mind me rolling that right now.
No, not at all.
Okay.
Thank the most is sitting right over here. She puts up with a lot of time and a lot of hours that I spend down here. I don't give her any attention at all.
Matt Savage is about to propose to his girlfriend, Marianne. There are the odds on the yes-no.
Yeah, he's a 3-1 underdog. I don't like his chances.
He's really nervous.
Look at the yes
Marianne.
odds there.
It's back to 50-50. Maybe she doesn't have any prospects.
The knee's good.
If she'd marry me, I love this woman very much. She's been special to me.
That's good.
He's getting better. Looks like he's done this before.
Up to you. What's the answer?
Oh, and he got the yes.
Oh,
He's all
jeez.
in.
These two crazy kids. I didn't see it coming.
He came into it way behind. But Matt Savage is going to get the better end of this deal. I know that.
So, Matt, the odds were not in your favor as we saw on TV, but you have been married 10 years, and I wanted to wish you congratulations to you and Marianne.
Thank you very much for showing that. That was nice.
In all seriousness, I want to talk to you about your role in poker and what you've done for the poker community. For the people in the audience, can you please tell us what attracted you to the game of poker?
You know, I was a player. I loved the game. I loved playing it. I loved being a part of, you know, the action of it. And I was always drawn to it from a young age, you know, basically from playing with my family at home. And I've always enjoyed it. So I always thought that I would have some kind of involvement in it as soon as I got into it. But it turned out it worked out very well for me.
Well, you were a player at one time, correct?
I
mean,
was
you still
not a
play,
player.
but...
I still play, but I was never, like, what would you call a player? I always said that the reason I got into poker is because I was such a bad player.
And then how did you become tournament director?
Basically, it was by accident because I was a poker dealer and I loved doing it, but I developed carpal tunnel. I ended up working so much and so much overtime that I developed carpal tunnel, and because of that, I ended up going on the floor and being an assistant tournament director. So because of, out of injury, I ended up doing something different, and lucky for me, it ended up being pretty good.
Where are you right now? I see a lot of poker players right now, and it looks like you're running a tournament, and that's why you couldn't join us in the studio today. So where exactly are you at right now?
We have our $250,000 guarantee today, and so far it's going pretty well. You know, we've already got over just about $100,000 in the prize pool for this $250,000 guarantee. So for the next 2 days, we'll be doing this one, and it's part of the LA Poker Open, which has been going on and going great so far.
And what's the latest that people can go and join this tournament today?
It's open for the next 2 days of starting days. There's no same-day reentry, but you can reenter the next day, and so it'll go on for Friday and Saturday, the day 2. the final day will be on Sunday.
Great. You were quoted in Bluff magazine stating that the highlight of your career and the biggest moment in poker history was, I believe it was the 2004 WSOP.
Yeah,
Can you tell the story
2000
of what happened there and what the big event was that catapulted the poker industry of what it is today?
That'd be 2003, and that was when Moneymaker won the World Series of Poker. It was kind of a real special time to be around the World Series and Binion's Horseshoe, and we just felt the perfect storm with Moneymaker winning from a $40 satellite and turning it into $2.5 million, and kind of that was the catapult that seemed to bring so many people in the following year.
And what was, in 2003, how many entrants did you have?
2003, we had 839, and the following year we had 2538.
Wow.
Wow. And it just kept getting bigger and bigger. What do you know what the biggest WSOP was? How many entrants they had? Was when Jamie Gold played?
Yeah, I believe that was. I think it was over 8,000 for sure.
Wow, wow. Another discussion I want to have with you is regarding tournaments and the multi-day re-entries and unlimited re-entries. You were one of the innovators of multiple starting days and tournament re-entries on subsequent days and unlimited re-entries for some events. My personal feeling on that. I've not been a big fan of unlimited re-entries because I feel that it changes the dynamics of poker, and people with a big bankroll can just keep re-entering and re-entering. So I'm not a big fan of that. I do like the fact that you can go and re-enter the next day. I think that's great. But I feel, not really crazy about multiple re-entries. And I found on September 1st, Daniel Shack tweeted to you and Matt Salzberg, and he said, I quote, "I stand by my opinion that all these multi-day entries and unlimited re-entries will drain all the bankrolls." What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, I totally agree. We started the re-entries here at Commerce, and especially in the LA market, you can't go a day, outside of the LA tournaments now without having multiple re-entry and multiple buy-ins and things that I think that are just killing, the LA market, because I really believe that, in the end, it's going to be a bad thing for the poker market, because not only people are blowing all their bankroll in the single tournament, but they don't have enough money to go downstairs now and play in the cash games and in the satellites and do some of the other things and maybe even play the next day's tournament because they've burnt up their entire bankroll in a single event. And, my initial idea for multi-re-entry was to have big guarantees on small buy-ins and, make it for everybody. And what it's turned into is a, kind of a travesty, because now, they've made it for the deep pocket players and not for the everyday player.
Right, and the pros love the LAPC at Commerce. And right now, as we've talked about, you have the LA Poker Open, and it's going on right now. And have you made any changes to the LA Poker Open right now regarding these multiple day re-entries?
Yeah, basically we've pulled them all out. There's no same day re-entries in our event except for one, and the multi-day re-entries, we have it for this event and for the main event, and that's it. And the reason for that is I feel like, again, it's really hurt the poker economy in LA, and we're sticking to our guns here and trying to make a change and trying to get others to go along with it. We're not going to have much success because I believe that other local casinos won't do the same thing. I think that they feel like if they're not going to get them to play cash games, they might as well try and get all the entry fee they can in these re-entry events, and I feel completely different about that. So I hope that some will listen and do the same, but we'll see how that goes.
Well, it didn't just hurt the LA market, because this year's Seminole Hard Rock 10 million guarantee fell short of 2.5 million, I believe, with only 1,499 entrants. And last year they had 2,384 entrants, which exceeded the guarantee by $2 million. Now, why do you think they missed the guarantee this year in that event?
Well, I'd like to think it was because I wasn't there back.
Well, that's exactly one of the reasons why.
That's not really the reason. I think there's a lot of factors. Obviously, there was a lot going on at the same time, which hurt them. I think they got a little bit maybe comfortable with the fact they thought they would make it. But I think the biggest reason is they didn't have the support from their other local casinos in the Seminole Hard Rock market and up in Tampa and at Coconut Creek and the other Seminole properties. I don't think they got the same support that they had the year before. And I think they really needed to make a change to make that happen. Because in the end, I think that satellites are the key to these big events succeeding and getting locals in there. And hopefully, some of these locals can win these events. Because I'm always a big fan of the local player winning these events because it's good for the local economy.
Right. And so you think that gradually the casinos are going to start moving away from these multi-reentries?
I would hope so. I'm not sure that they will because I don't think that some casino managers feel the same way I do. And I think here at the Commerce, I've gotten the support from the management here to do these type of things. And we were lucky last weekend to put together some great guarantees and get some support from the local market. And I think they really responded, by showing up. And I hope that happens more often.
But I think that you are the man because you are great because the players go to you and you listen to what the players have to say. And I think that you're hearing from the players that they really don't like these these days where you can re-enter multiple times for a certain amount of time. And I think that you really listen to the players, and that's why the players really respect who you are.
Well, I mean, I've always said it, without the players, we're nothing. And then it's, I've always felt that, it's the masses that need to be happy. And believe it or not, I think that over the years, I have shown a lot of respect for the players, and they, in return, have shown respect for me. And that's what I think it's all about.
Right.
Awesome. Well, Matt, I remember having this conversation during the LAPC with Kirk Acevedo. He was really... actually, during the LAPC, you were actually looking to scale back on the unlimited reentries. I believe the million guarantee, it was always reentry next session versus the first session, and he was really upset because if you get cooled the first hand, then he's out of the tournament.
Right, and that's what I say. So go play a satellite or go play a cash game, or we had another tournament that started at 5 o'clock. There's a lot of different ways for them to, still be in action, but they have to wait the next day to play the $1 million guarantee, and that's the way I wanted it.
Yeah, and remember the sweat. We had a little sweat, but it was fun. It was fun.
Well,
exactly.
We're going to be going to a commercial break in just a second, Matt. When I get back, we're going to talk to you about a few other things. So we'll be right back at T-Radio V with the flop.
Hey, what's up? I am Scott.
And I am Ken. We are not the Chemical Brothers, but we are the Crystal Method. And you are watching T-Radio V.
I'm Laura Samoza.
I'm Sterling Gardner.
And we are Between the Sheets every Monday here, 3 p.m., TRadioV.com.
T-Radio V.
That's right. It's T-Radio V.
Second video you gave me
in
isn't working. The link doesn't work. The second video, the video number 2.
What is that face?
He wants to see our hands.
That's radio. N T V. Wah, 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 wah.
We're not a couple.
Hello, I am food and travel guru Mark DiCarlo.
And I'm Yenny Alvarez, a traveling diva.
And we're doing a new show right here on T-Radio V called A Fork on the Road. I've been to over 500 cities in America and elsewhere, and I know where to stay, what to eat, and what to do for fun when you're there, and so does she, because she's the traveling diva.
Yeah, traveling diva, not traveling hobo.
Right. What's the first thing people ask you every time you come back from a trip?
Food. What'd you eat?
What'd you eat? Was it good? Was it bad? Where'd you stay? How much did you spend? We have all the answers because we know people everywhere. Every week we'll be interviewing a different chef, a different celebrity, a different musician, people that travel for a living and who know all the back roads.
Authentic travel, authentic food, great places to go. Festivals. I love festivals.
We love festivals.
So every Tuesday at 4.
And we're going to be bringing it all to you each week, like she said, Tuesdays at 4. So for food, fun, and travel, you come right back here to us. Mark DiCarlo.
And I'm Yenny Alvarez.
And we'll see you
on A Fork on the Road.
This is Quick Fix Radio. Quick Fix Yeah. Check it out, y'all. We back in the building. What's going on?
Sir, what it do? We got some super special guests up in the place,
In the building, we got all 5 live in the building. Bone Thugs in the building.
All
Everybody.
we up in here
Tonight, y'all. What's going on?
Hey man, I had to come see what this TV radio what this all about. You know what I'm saying? Hey.
We got Game on the line. Game, what's going down, baby?
What up? What up, man?
What's going on? Oh man, we got EPO Dylan. Who is this on the phone with us?
Yo, what up, man? It's Akon.
Akon in the building. Who is this on the line?
Be real.
We got Be Real. Oh, Be Real. What is we got on the line?
This is Ty Dolla $ign right here.
What up, Ty Dolla $ign in the building. Thanks to all the fans for stopping by.
The Quick Fix with Crazy Bone, right here on T Radio V.
T Radio V. Radio in TV. Radio in TV.
Welcome back to The Flop. I am Debbie Kay, the fabulous lady of poker, and we are in studio with the Poker Paparazzi and via Skype with Matt Savage, the ringmaster.
Nice.
Hey, Matt. So we wanted to touch a little bit on the Poker Hall of Fame with the newest inductees. Well, we all know you're going to be a shoo-in on your first candidacy. But what do you think of the two new Hall of Famers?
Well, for sure, Daniel was going to get in there, and he had just turned 40, which helps him obviously get in. So he'd be like the first ballot entry. So yeah, I mean, obviously he deserves it. Not only through his play, but through his great ambassadorship of the game. He's done a lot for the growth of the game. So I think that's very important. And, like I said, Daniel is just always going to be in there. So, whether he gets in now or in a few years, I think that's a good thing. And obviously, he deserves it. He definitely deserves it. Jack McClellan, on the other hand, he's a guy that has done a lot for the industry, a lot for poker. He was there, before the boom. So a lot of the young kids and young guys don't know who he is. He kind of was at the Bellagio the last few years of his career, and with his health being what it is, I was very happy to see him get into the Hall of Fame. Not only does he deserve it, but I think that he also opens up the door for a lot of us that are in this industry and have done a lot for the game. That for years to come, I think that he's kind of like set the precedent for what it is, what it takes to get into the Poker Hall of Fame.
I know that last year, I believe, there were some tweets going on back and forth with you and Daniel Negreanu regarding the first card off the deck. I'm a big fan of that rule, and I know that Daniel was not. If you can explain to the people why you think that rule is significant.
Well, I mean, significant it probably isn't, because we've been using it for hundreds of tournaments now, and I really have not had any issue with it. So for him to say that it's ruined the fun for the game is obviously not true.
Right.
And for me to say that, it's the most important rule in poker, that's obviously not true. It's somewhere in the middle. The original reason why we took that rule on is because the EPT, which is sponsored by PokerStars, and his company, is the one that used that. And I felt it was very important to have the EPT become part of the TDA. And so that was one of the rules that we accepted to kind of, make that conversion of the EPT over to the TDA rules happen. And, for me to give up that simple little rule to make it happen, I think was a no-brainer. And so, we will review it again in the next TDA Summit, which will probably happen next summer, and see if the tournament directors have had any issue with it, or if we need to keep the rule along with other rules. And, like I said, we are a group of tournament directors and card room managers from around the world, and some players as well. And we try to do what we feel is in the best interest of the game for the players. And so that's why that rule came about. And I was happy to support it because others did. And again, like I said, we'll review it next time it comes up.
Well, I'm a big supporter of the rule. I think it keeps the game moving, and you know, if the player's not in their seat when the card's off the deck, hand's dead. Simple as that. And that's a rule, like you said, it's a rule, and you know, people shouldn't be complaining about it. Be in your seat if you want to look at your cards. You know.
Exactly.
One thing, want to show a funny video. We talked about this. Phil Hellmuth, who is a friend of yours, I know, and I think it was at Bay 101. He made the final table. I know he's not won a WPT event, and players were pretty much taunting him. And I want to roll this tape, and just for the audience, because it was pretty funny. Let's go.
Queens. He is all in up against ace-jack.
Well, he's about a 2-to-1 favorite to win this pot and get back to where he started this final table in second chip position. Let's see if the queens hold up. If not, he'd be out in 6th place. So far, so good as it comes king 6-5. Hellmuth out in front with the 2 queens.
A little justice right there on that flop. Still has to sweat 2 more cards. Queens out in front. Here comes the turn.
Well, a 10 comes off. Now that means a queen would give Andy a straight.
He's got the defense. He's got the defense. He's got the defense.
So Andy needs an ace or a queen. Hellmuth, a huge favorite to double up here and get back into second chip position.
Yeah, the kid needs the big suck out. Don't do it to Hellmuth here.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
A dagger in the heart for Phil Hellmuth on the river.
No,
He
Andy,
is stunned,
too.
shocked as everyone else in here is, as he takes a beat on the river to get knocked out in 6th place.
Good play, buddy. Well done.
But you gotta give it to him. He's being a gentleman. He takes a horrible beat there, but he shakes hands.
Can't express to you how much of an honor it was to play with you, especially my first big final table film.
Incredibly, Phil Hellmuth is out in 6th place. Gonna pick up 117,000.
Looks like a good sport now, shaking hands with everybody, congratulating them all. As it is, he's devastated because he had a great shot to win a WPT title tonight. Just didn't happen, Vince. It was a nightmare for him. Now he's holding his head, and now he is sick. Now, many players feel like Phil acts like a baby sometimes. They'll be saying, oh, give him his blankie and pacifier or something.
Damn it, Andy, now you got the Bounty Hunter Award.
Look at him, dude. Look at him. Look at he's right there on the ground.
I think he's just emotionally devastated for getting knocked out of this tournament that he wanted to win so badly.
I'm actually a little worried here. I mean, he's in a fetal jailhouse kind of position. This is very strange.
Oh, my God. Well, the crowd doesn't know if he's acting, if he's seriously ill.
No. Take a picture with him. There's some kind of poetic justice to it, though.
Oh, this is the strangest thing I've ever seen.
See, this is how the new school beats the old school. We just get it in and hit.
Waited for this guy.
So cold. So cold.
Well, he's finally back up. He looks like he's okay. Now he's walking out. Gets a nice ovation from the crowd, even from the players.
It doesn't feel fair to me. It doesn't feel right. You know, I mean, I'm just playing so good, and I don't understand how he could play that bad.
Whatever, I got lucky.
Yeah, it's over now. Like.
I don't know how he could stick 800,000 with Ace-Jack. I mean, it's just not right. You know, I mean, I'm not. It's just. I'm devastated. It's really not even right. I mean, I just trapped the guy so good.
Is he just over there talking about me the whole time?
Well, not like hardcore. The one thing I keep hearing from the world is that I've never won a World Poker Tour tournament. But I love the World Poker Tour, and it was a great tournament with a great structure, and I did the best I could.
Well, here comes Matt Savage with the cold, hard cash that you get for knocking out a bounty.
Thank you. No signature?
Nobody has the balls.
No one has the balls.
No one has the balls. I'm
You're
sorry.
also supposed to get a signed T-shirt.
Matt, it's like the surgeon doesn't like to tell the family when he loses a patient either, but I think you got a job to do.
Look at Matt's
You got to
face.
get that shirt signed. It's a tough job, but you're the man. You're the guy in charge. Want to sign his shirt from
I do, but I feel like
Huh?
I'm...
to the tournament area.
Let's forget it, Jesus. Do you want to sign?
I would like it signed, yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty memorable.
Guys are
It's
awesome.
part of the deal everyone signed up for.
Awesomely horrible.
Let's forget about it, huh? Are you sure?
Well, I mean, I could get it signed later. I'm positive he'll sign it for me when he cools down.
Phil, they'd like you to sign the shirt. Phil, how do you? There he is.
I had the pleasure of meeting Phil Hellmuth at the LAPC, the class.
It looks like now anyway, waving to the crowd.
Nice hand, buddy.
He's going to sign the shirt, but I'd be a little
nice hand,
careful.
I mean,
Remember how
nice
Joe
catch.
Pesci stuck the pin in that guy's neck in that movie?
Now, Matt, I know that Phil's a good friend of yours, and do you think the players taunt him to see him have a meltdown like this?
100%.
100%.
No doubt about it.
Because
Yeah.
I've met him, and he's a really great guy. And when I've played with him, he's been great. But you just see this. I don't know if it's because of TV or when they're on TV, but this taunting of him, and then he has this meltdown. I think it makes it worse for him. Actually, what do you think?
Yeah, I definitely think that he's got this kind of persona that people like to see, to bring that, whether it's for good or for bad. Phil is who he is. He knows who he is, and he's trying to be better. He always talks about trying not to be a brat anymore.
Uh-huh.
But you know what? In the end, he's great for poker, and that's my main thing. He's the guy who has done so much for the game. He's done so much for charities, and he really deserves a lot of credit for that, which he doesn't receive.
Yeah, he does. But his logo is the poker brat, right? So
Right.
I don't think he's going to be getting rid of that anytime soon.
Exactly.
I want to talk about another Phil, if you don't mind, Mr. Phil Ivey, and the Ivey controversy that's going on right now. You know about that, correct?
Sure, of course. Yeah, I mean, again, another guy that's kind of a mysterious character in this whole situation with the lawsuits. And is he going to get paid? Is he not going to get paid? Is he going to get in trouble? Is he not going to get in trouble? It's kind of add to the mystery. And we don't really know. The comments of did he cheat? Did he not cheat? Nobody really knows. And there's a lot of opinions out there. A lot of people that are against the casinos because if they feel like they always win, feel like there was nothing wrong with it. Yet there are some that feel that, him going in ahead of time, knowing that he could get an advantage against the casino because of a defect in the cards, makes him a cheater. So really tough to say if that's going to come down in his favor or not. But it doesn't appear that the casinos are going after him and for him to get in any kind of like legal trouble. More or less, they're just trying to keep their own money.
Well, yeah.
So what does that tell you about the situation?
And Crawford's did give him his initial investment back. He was going after his winnings, and I think that he did state that he looks at the casinos as his opponent, and they showed weakness by not having the right cards and giving him exactly what he wanted. But I think, in my opinion, I think it's hurt him. He's trying to get out of that. I know that his Ivy Poker, he said that he's reconstructing it, but that's been shut down. And I don't know if you want to give an opinion or not. I was just curious what your opinion was on if you think it's okay or if it's kind of like both his fault and the casino's fault.
No, I think it's definitely both his fault and the casino's fault. But again, if he considers the casino's his opponent, many people do. So, he's going to get support from a lot of people in that respect that they feel that, if he got money out of the casino, then good for him. But it's, I wouldn't say that it's killed his reputation, but it hasn't helped either.
Right. Well, he lost the suit at Crawford's. Last week, he just appealed it. And I know Borgata is still in the courts, so we'll see what happens with that. You have another business you're involved with called Fantasy Draft. You'd like to tell the audience about that?
Today we just announced we signed the two NFL wide receivers, Ty Hilton and Jordy Nelson, T.Y. Hilton and Jordy Nelson, and I think that that's going to be kind of the way we're going to go. We're going to have kind of the play with the pros type approach. And it's exciting. I was brought into the company by Robert Stefanowski, who is the owner of the company and a very successful businessman over the years and understands the model that we're using. So, obviously I would encourage anybody out there to give it a shot. Daily fantasy is huge already, and obviously fantasy sports is very huge. So definitely anybody who has any questions about that can get a hold of you and contact me, and hopefully we can, make a great business out of this and everybody makes a lot of money from that.
That'd be great. When we come back, I want to talk about a couple of hands, if you have time, that happened at the WSOP over the last couple of days. We're going to be going to commercial break. I am Debbie Kay, the fabulous lady of poker, and we'll be right back with Matt Savage and the Poker Paparazzi.
Hi, I'm Sheriff John Bonnell. You're watching T Radio. Radio and TV? What? That was perfect. Why are you asking me to do this after 12 drinks?
I'm Debbie Kay, professional poker player and host of the new poker show, The Flop, Thursdays at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on T Radio V. Come play with me and dive into the world of poker, where each week I'll discuss the lives of grinders and nits with local rounders and celebrity guests. Who knows? I may even shuffle a scandal or two. If you want to know what's happening on the felt and learn a tip or two from the pros, I'll be dealing it to you weekly. So tune in to T Radio V every Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Are you ready to get your grind on? T Radio V. Radio and TV.
Hey, my fellow thoughters out there. I'm Charles Shaughnessy. Check out my new show, Here's a Thought, with Charles Shaughnessy, August the 7th, 3 p.m. PST, right here on T Radio V. Now, you know I have a lot to say, but I want to hear what you have to say. So tune in, grab your phones, call me, tweet me, email me in the studio, and let's get this conversation going. Here's a Thought, starting August the 7th, 3 p.m. PST, right here on T Radio V. That's radio in TV.
Hey geeks, wake up! We got big news. I'm not gonna mumble this time. Geekscape, the long-running movie video game. Let me do one more. Hey geeks, we got big news! Geekscape, your favorite show about movies, video games, comics, and TV, is coming to T Radio V Monday, October 6th. And it'll be on every Monday from then on, 7 p.m. Until the apocalypse happens, we're all eaten by zombies.
T Radio V. Radio in TV. Radio in TV.
Hi, I'm Sheriff John Bonnell. You're watching T Radio. Radio and TV? What? That was perfect. Why are you asking me to do this after 12 drinks?
T Radio V. Radio in TV. Radio in TV.
Welcome back to The Flop. I'm Debbie Kay, the fabulous lady of poker, here in the studio with the Poker Paparazzi, and via Skype, Mr. Matt Savage. If anybody has any questions they'd like to ask Matt, you can go to Twitter at TRadioV, or you can call in at 855-878-4652. Matt, I'd like to have you just go into this fantasy draft and a little bit more and tell the people in the audience what fantasy draft is all about.
Yes, so daily fantasy sports, and I'm sure you've seen on TV with all the advertising, is something that I have a passion for. I've always been in fantasy leagues basically for 20 years. And, it's where you pick players to be on your team, and by the points they score, the yards they rush for, the touchdowns they score, the yards they pass for or receive, you get points. And it's a way for you to go in and play contests for as little as $1 and win a major amount of money, and sometimes life-changing money for these $1 million contests that you see out there right now. And by picking a lineup for over a weekend. And so you don't have to get locked into a season-long contest or a season-long league where you can just play a weekend's worth of contests and take your chances. And it's been legalized by the United States because of a carve-out that actually came with the online poker bill. And so they ruled that these were legal and that online poker was illegal. We're all hoping that changes sometime soon. But the fact that this is legal has made it open the door for companies like this to open. And, with FantasyDraft.com, I'm just really excited about it.
Yeah, and if anybody wants more information on it, they can either contact Matt Savage at Matt Savage Poker on Twitter or Debbie K Poker, that's DEBBK Poker on Twitter.
Yeah, it's at Savage Poker.
At Savage Poker. At.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, Matt, I've noticed on social media that a lot of poker players are actually really involved in fantasy draft and fantasy sports in general, but fantasy draft. What are some of the things that you feel correlate with poker and, like you said, fantasy draft?
Well, to me, I think just poker players are smart. They've got they look at the edges, they look at certain percentages and things like that, and they are good at finding information. There's a lot of information out there about players that are injured or are they supposed to perform well against this defense or that? And, they research. And I think that's obviously the key to it. You want to be able to go in there informed, as poker players do when they go to a poker table. They pick up tells or things that they might see at the table that will help them have an advantage over another player. And I think it's kind of the same thing with daily fantasy sports and with fantasy draft.
That's exactly right. Strategy. Basically, their strategy, accumulating information and using it to the best of their advantage.
For sure.
That's awesome. So, Matt, real quick, I was taking a look at the schedule for the LA Poker Open, and for the main event, there's a 10K WPT seat to the LAPC. What is that about?
Well, it's something we've added, as a part of promoting the LA Poker Classic. Now, it comes out of the prize pool, but it is, a way for us to look forward to the $10,000 main event and try and get that first player to win a ticket will come out of our main event. So we feel that, promoting the LAPC out of the main event here in the LA Poker Open gets people looking forward to that.
Absolutely. I think that is super strategic, basically parlaying a victory, because that's a huge upswing to win any type of main event, especially from the Commerce, and then parlaying that into a main event seat at the next main event of the next series. So that's fantastic.
Correct.
You want to tell the audience about some of the dates of some of these events that they should be coming down to Commerce to play? I know you have.
I mean, this weekend the LA Poker Open is going on, and it continues on until next weekend. Our main event starts next Thursday with a starting day with mega satellites for the main event, and then on Friday and Saturday, those are the starting days. It's a $500,000 guarantee, $500,000 guarantee for a $1,600 main event, and super excited about that one. Obviously, with the big guarantee and the 2-day tournament. So it ends on Sunday, gives the locals a real chance to come in and win a significant amount of money, life-changing money, on a weekend tournament.
That's great. You have that $500,000 guarantee happening. Let me look at my sheet here. Thursday, 11/20.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, correct.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That's great.
Correct.
It's the one I'm going to be playing.
A 1A, 1B, and 1C. And again, on those, you can't re-enter the same day, but you can re-enter the following day.
Okay, great. You have any other thing you want to ask Matt before we take off with
Well,
him?
we're gonna touch a little bit on the Did you get to catch any of the WSOP final table action, Matt?
Yeah, we did. We actually showed it live here at the Commerce during the tournament.
In fact,
I missed the final 3 players, but I saw the day leading up to the final day.
In fact, one of the players that was at the final table was Mark Newhouse, and he is actually a Commerce player, correct?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, he was actually a Commerce player and sponsored by the Commerce for that event, and unfortunately, he finished 9th again. But for him to make 2 final tables back to back is pretty an amazing accomplishment.
Yeah. What are, you're an odds guy. What are the odds of number one making back-to-back final tables and back-to-back getting out 9th place? What are the odds?
Say very long. Obviously, making 2 final tables with over 6,000 players in back-to-back years is next to impossible. For him to do that is incredible. I know that he wanted something better than 9th place, but it's an accomplishment all the same. And $740,000 fits pretty nicely in the wallet, as they say.
Right. There's a couple of hands. I watched it live, but then I went through and watched it again. And there's a few hands that I want to talk about. And a hand was where Larabi has pocket 5s and Newhouse has pocket 8s. And Larabi raises to 1 million and Newhouse calls. And the flop comes 6-7 Jack Rainbow. And then the turn gives Larabi a set and Newhouse an open-ended straight draw.
Okay.
Larabi bets 2.5 million and Newhouse calls. The river is an insignificant king, and I understand Newhouse's check, but Larabi doesn't pull the trigger, which I think he should have bet at least half the pot, or at least,
Yeah,
or
it's
something for
kind of a
value.
weird thing, you know, where there's a lot of people that feel the same way you do. That, you know, at that point, you know, maybe he put him on some big pair, pocket pair, and maybe he thought it might have been kings, and just wanted to take it down the pot at that point. But you've really got to take a stab at that pot at that point, and you know, I guess he's trying to advance up the payout scale. I'm not really sure what he was thinking, but he made it at that point, and I never have. So, you know, maybe he's got something on us too.
Well, I don't know, but I think it stunned Newhouse, and I actually think that was the hand that turned Newhouse. I could be wrong. I haven't talked to him. You know, he'd been playing for almost 3 hours there, and he had seen an extremely conservative table and played with all these players and everybody except for Van Hoof. And after that hand, he starts to pick up some momentum and he starts to recover nicely. And then all of a sudden he picks up pocket 10s against Sindelar's pocket queens. And I'd like to roll that tape because I think here, because of that hand, that's why Newhouse did what he did. And we're going to show the tape, and I want to get your opinion on that.
So that feels a lot better than just being the chip leader.
He got the chip lead with a fabulous day 7. He knocked out Dan Smith in 20th with a pocket 4s against ace-king coin flip, where he almost doubled up. Then he knocked out Andrei Zaichenko in 17th, where he flopped a straight with 10-6 to crack his pocket aces. And then he knocked out Eddie Sabat in 16th, when he rivered nut flush and Eddie rivered jack high flush. 3 huge hands, 3 big knockouts, and he's the chip leader.
And he never really had a big stack until that last day. On day 4, he had 131,000 chips, and the next day, 3.9 million. That really lit the rocket on Van Hoof and his main event. And of course, he came into this final table with 38 million. He's got just a little bit more than that right now. Larabe with pocket 5s and a raise to $1 million. Van Hoof will not play, and the patented flick of a chip from Mr. Newhouse, and he's in the pot. 4-7 Jack. I'm sorry, 6-7 Jack. We know that Mark Newhouse has a 4 and with an 8. Okay, not now. Sorry, the card reader having a little problem here. Pocket 8s for Newhouse against the 5s of Larabe. Unless Mark broke one of those 8s in half. He did break one of these chips during main event play during summertime, and they're a little thicker with the RFID reader in them. And he said he just peeked it, looked at it, and the chip broke in half lengthwise.
Look at that turn card.
Wow, a 5 of hearts, and Larabe hits a set.
And Newhouse picks up a straight, by the way, and he still has second pair to the flop.
Straight draw.
Yeah, he picks up a straight draw, and he's got second pair to the jack. So this is a really good action card on the turn. Newhouse will probably check, and Larabe has to bet here with a set. He's really not worried about, you know, he could be worried about 8-9, but that's not going to stop him from betting.
And it shouldn't. Larabe picking up a Mark Newhouse-like turn card.
That's the way Larabe's night has been going. Picking up cards here and there, but not a lot of traction. Still under 20 million.
There's almost nothing sweeter than when you bet the flop and turn a set. It is one of the greatest feelings in poker. You just can't believe it came.
You want to hit it on the flop. That's what you're going for.
When he comes out betting here, of course, Newhouse is going to
$2.5 million, about half a pot, and Mark Newhouse with the call. 5 of those red chips. King of clubs. So, set of 5s for Larabe. His best. Newhouse checks his 8s.
So, I mean, he has to bet here. He knows for sure he's got the best hand. He didn't get raised on the turn. He's not worried about 3 kings or 3 jacks. He would have heard about that earlier. So, you know, There's 9.9 million in the pot. He has to think to himself, what is Newhouse potentially going to call? Newhouse might have a 7. He might just have a jack. It's unlikely he has a 2 pair, so he probably wants to bet an amount that he gets paid from. In my mind, maybe 2.8, 2.9 million. I don't think that Newhouse is capable of calling much more, given that he just check called 2 streets. You know, if I'm sitting in Larabe's seat, I have no idea what Newhouse has. I'm putting him on a 1 pair kind of hand.
And the science of bet sizing, too small is suspicious. Too big, you're not going to get caught. I mean,
right, it's an art.
There's an art to it.
It's an art, for sure. You know, and you know, if Larabe fires, Newhouse thinks, well, the king came. What?
Oh, check. Maybe he didn't think he was going to get paid off. I don't know. Was that the only?
I mean, I just have no.
So that is the hand that I think turned Newhouse to where he started picking up momentum after that hand. I think he was in total disbelief that he checked. And when we get back from the commercial break, we'll show the hand that actually knocked Newhouse out of the tournament. We'll be right back on T Radio V with the fabulous lady of poker.
Nice music choice.
Hi, I'm Sheriff John Bonnell. You're watching T Radio. Radio and TV? What? That was perfect. Why are you asking me to do this after 12 drinks?
T Radio V. Radio in TV. Radio in TV.
Hey geeks, wake up! We've got big news. I'm not gonna mumble this time. Geekscape, the long-running movie video game. Let me do one more. Hey geeks, we got big news! Geekscape, your favorite show about movies, video games, comics, and TV, is coming to T Radio V Monday, October 6th. And it'll be on every Monday from then on, 7 p.m. Until the apocalypse happens, we're all eaten by zombies.
Hey, my fellow thoughters out there. I'm Charles Shaughnessy. Check out my new show, Here's a Thought, with Charles Shaughnessy, August the 7th, 3 p.m. PST, right here on T Radio V. Now, you know I have a lot to say, but I want to hear what you have to say. So tune in, grab your phones, call me, tweet me, email me in the studio, and let's get this conversation going. Here's a Thought, starting August the 7th, 3 p.m. PST, right here on T Radio V. That's radio in TV.
Managed to persevere and came to this final table with the third biggest stack, 26 million. Talking.
T Radio V. Radio in TV. Radio in TV.
Welcome back to The Flop. I am Debbie K, the fabulous lady of poker, and we are going to talk to Matt Savage right now about that hand that I believe turned Newhouse.
Yeah, Matt, as a player to player, what did you think of that particular setup? Hey, Matt.
It's Matt Affleck. Hello.
Hey, Matt, how's it going, Matt?
He brought you a better one to understand why the guy checked a set of 5.
I would love to have Matt Affleck's opinion on that.
Remember when he checked the set of 5s on Newhouse? Oh, he didn't. Maybe you didn't watch it.
Oh, you didn't watch the video.
I didn't watch it really.
Oh, he didn't. Oh, okay.
I'm sure Phil's talking about that, but I don't have any idea. What
oh, okay.
Yeah, Matt.
Matt Affleck is the roommate of your guest from next week.
Yes, yes, I will be having Tyler Patterson on next week. He's your roommate. Well, he can't hear me, can he?
No, he might be able.
Maybe Matt Affleck wants to come into the studio with me also.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That'd be great.
He could talk a lot of poker strategy with you for sure.
Absolutely.
Nice. And golf strategy. You guys are great golfer.
Well, I don't golf, so I know nothing about golf.
Yeah, that's true.
So you could, but you do have those Savage Invitationals.
That is correct, and Matt's a big part of that.
Yeah,
Sure.
I was part of it last year. It was a lot of fun, actually.
Yeah, definitely.
Did you want to roll the final Newhouse bust out?
Yeah,
or
I
how
wanted
did
to
you-
roll the final Newhouse bust out. Maybe Matt Affleck can watch this if he's interested in it. But we're going to roll the tape where Newhouse gets knocked out of the tournament. And I believe he was knocked out of the tournament because of the previous video we just saw, I think, changed the whole dynamics of the poker. We could roll that tape.
World champions have come from the back of the pack. There are many ways to win the bracelet.
Raised 1.1 million. And Van Hoof was at the back of the pack a few days ago. It wasn't as extreme as Greg Merson, who had less than 3 big blinds left, but he started day 5 with 13 big blinds. He was 282nd in chips out of 291.
Van Hoof for the raise. A call from Newhouse with pocket tens. Will talking now. And everybody has seen that when Will gets involved, Will is pretty serious about what he's got. And that face of Will Talking is who Will Talking is. He doesn't fool around. Pre-game interviews, you know, he doesn't want to act as a poser. He doesn't want to try to offer any self-aggrandizement. He just, you know, almost comes off like a working stiff. This is my game. I'm not doing anything special. But he does have the best hand right now with queens. So
yeah, Newhouse is in a really tough spot. I mean, he's on the button with 2 tens. He just flatted the original raiser, original raise from Van Hoof. So, you know, when you have 2 tens to a single raise, you know, you're definitely not getting away from it.
So that too many take 100 back. Yep. How much did you start with, Mark? 22.
All right, here we go. Queens against tens.
You know, not to mention the raise was from Tonkin, which, you know, should send off some worry bells for Newhouse because Tonkin, as we know, has played very solid so far. So as powerful as 2 tens are, you have to be cautious. But usually they're the best hand.
When I have pocket queens, it seems like put more kings and aces in the deck than ever before.
Solid.
And 2 or 3 of them hit the flop. The Tonkin sees 3 undercards out there.
Bet 3.5.
So the only person that Newhouse might actually fold to is Tonkin because this is a pretty standard call on the flop in position just to see what your opponent does on the turn. You know, you raise pre-flop, you bet the flop. There's a very reasonable chance he could have ace-queen or ace-king. You know, I think against almost anyone else, he's always going to call here in position. But against Tonkin, it's a whole different story. So far. I wouldn't be shocked if Newhouse found a fold here.
Call.
But
There's
pretty
a call.
standard.
Yep. And we've seen Newhouse throughout this main event. He's not afraid to put chips into the middle. Another 4 comes out.
Yeah, that's a great card for Tonkin. He's not really worried about a 4. So he loves his hand right now. You know, if you think your opponent called you with a very light hand and might bet the turn, you want to check here. But if you think your opponent called you with a hand like a jack, if you think he's going to bet the jack, you definitely want to bet. If you think he's the kind of player that could just check back and have pot control, which most cash game players do, then you obviously want to bet.
Check.
You hear Bruno's cheering section back there. They don't just sit back and wait for something to happen with their guy.
So I don't know what Newhouse is going to do here. You know, going through his mind is maybe Tonkin as ace-king, ace-queen. I don't want to let him catch up. So he might make a very small bet on the turn. If he bets, he's not going to bet big.
Is Tonkin just letting Newhouse hang himself here? Is that what the check was for?
Yeah, pretty much. He called him on the flop. He's just wants to fire. He just wants him to fire on the turn. You know, he's bet 25% of the pot. Not a massive bet.
Tonkin can end it here if he wants to.
He could.
You guys can hear me?
But, you know, if you think your opponent is bluffing, you don't want to take that away from him on the river. But there's a lot of bad cards that can come out. So
sure.
4.5 million.
No, that isn't a massive bet by Newhouse, but this pot is starting to build.
Yeah, it's a tough spot here. I don't know what to do. you risk giving your chance a card that might make his hand. You know, if a jack peels off, if a heart peels off, if an ace or a king peels off, it's pretty gross. But you have a very strong holding, and you also, if you raise and get called or re-raised, you kind of have to go with it. So I like the call.
Look at the pot, 25.5 million.
And even if another dime doesn't go into this pot,
a terrible card for Tonkin.
Another jack, a double paired board, and
Jack.
He's got to think, you know, if Mark's around, Mark's got a piece of the board somewhere, and Mark now has a really big piece of the board.
I mean, Newhouse could definitely have a jack in his hand. So even
all
I
in
love this
from
bet.
Newhouse, and if he's called.
By the way, this is not a value bet from Newhouse. He's bluffing here. He knows he's bluffing. He knows that once Tonkin called him on the turn, it's very possible for Tonkin to have an overpair.
Tonkin has the bigger stack. A call here means Mark Newhouse once again would be out in 9th place.
By the way, I love this play, whether it works or not. It just shows a lot of heart.
It's Mark Newhouse.
He just puts his opponent on a hand and he plays accordingly.
10.2 million.
And that's what you have to do to win at Nolan.
Again for Mark Newhouse.
Will Tonkin somehow found it inside him.
Wow.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to see Newhouse knocked out, but anyway, we're going to be getting ready to wrap up the show. Just one more time, Matt, tell the audience about Commerce, what's going on down at Commerce Casino, and how long it's going on for.
It's the LA Poker Open. It's going on this week, and it concludes with the $500,000 guaranteed main event next week. We have a $1,100 bounty tournament with $500 bounties on next week as well for this tournament. Also a one-day event. So a lot of great stuff coming up. PLO 8 this week as well. I'd love to see you out at the Commerce. Come up and say hello. If you have any questions about rulings or anything about poker, you can always reach out to me at Savage Poker. Also with Fantasy Draft, that's also going on for me. A lot of stuff going on, and just keeping busy and living life. Everything's been good, and I'm very lucky to have friends like you and Leonard to share with me.
Well, Matt, thank you so much for being my guest tonight. I'll be seeing you at Commerce this week because I will be playing. Next week on the show, we will be having Tyler Patterson along with a couple of in-studio guests. I am the Fabulous Lady of Poker, and the flop says good night. And Leonard?
Happy birthday, Mom.
You are watching T Radio V, Radio and TV.